Hey y'all!
Belinda and I want to welcome you to our South Georgia garden. Viewing wildlife from our South Georgia garden has always been an enjoyable activity for Belinda and me. When we lived on Skidaway Island, our garden overlooked a salt marsh. And here you see, as we saw, some osprey on a channel marker near our house.
One day, when I was having to spend some time recuperating inside, I happened to look out and saw what I later learned was a mother owl. She was sitting on one of the deck chairs just outside the patio window. So I immediately grabbed my phone and started taking this video, which is a little bit why it seems a little bit foggy looking. Anyway, she sat there and I just enjoyed watching her. And as you can see, she's moving around. Actually, the window that she's looking at has a film on it. So she's viewing herself. And I couldn't tell if she was looking at herself, trying to figure out what is this other owl doing out here. But she stayed there looking around, making sure that no one or nothing was there to harm her or, as I later learned, her juvenile owl. Because later when I tiptoed into the bedroom, I saw a juvenile owl on a fountain just outside our bedroom window. So I'm assuming she was sitting there doing like a good mother would, watching over her baby as it was drinking from the fountain. As I was sitting there watching her, I couldn't imagine why she stayed so long. But as I said, when I went into the bedroom and saw the juvenile owl sitting on the fountain and drinking, I was a little bit more understanding why she would remain on that chair so long. Finally, I thought, oh, she's hopping away, but no, she waited a little longer. So, even if you have to be stuck inside, so to speak, keep your windows open, your shades open so that you can see and view outside. And also, when you're planting your garden, try to make sure that every window or every patio door, any space that you can see outside, make sure you're looking at something beautiful, some part of your garden that you can enjoy, especially if wildlife are there.
One morning, while drinking coffee on the back deck, overlooking our gardens and the salt marsh, a wise old owl joined me. I don't know if he'd been up all night hunting and maybe needed a little coffee, but here this owl sat and watched me drink a cup of coffee. We had a bit of a conversation, although I was the only one talking, but wise owls seem to listen more than they hoot.
One afternoon, I was amazed as a flock of tiny bluebirds ascended on the fountain just beside me on the patio. They seemed to take turns drinking from the fountain. It was amazing.
We often hear owls hooting in the distance in the evening as they're preparing for their night hunt. And one evening, we were graced by the presence of this owl. Flew into our magnolia tree just right off the deck and sat there eyeing us. And we were pleased to watch him as he sat in our magnolia tree and graced us with his presence.
Yes, Mark, we could barely see him because he's so camouflaged. Actually, you have to really look into this picture to see him there.
We had to zoom the picture in order to get him. He blends in with that moss. Since we enjoy viewing the wildlife that's attracted to our South Georgia garden, Belinda and I decided to seek certification as a wildlife habitat. Did you know that there is a national certification process? As you see on this sign, we had our property certified through that program as a wildlife habitat. Then we found out that in the state of Georgia, you can also have your property certified as a certified backyard wildlife habitat, and we went through that program as well. It's through the Garden Club of Georgia. Gardens attract wildlife, so whether you have a garden or you don't, you can look at a garden or walk through your garden or enjoy any garden and watch the wildlife. Don't just stop and smell the roses, stop and view the wildlife.
When we moved farther inland, our new garden had many areas that were full sun. So we decided to plant a wildlife meadow to welcome wildlife into our new garden. And there are other things that you can do to welcome wildlife into your gardens.
You can put out bird houses that will attract birds, give them a place to nest and to stay during the nesting season. You can plant plants that allow them to build nest in your trees and shrubs. Or you can put out bird baths, plant plants that have dried seed heads that attract birds, or you can put up bird feeders. Many people do.
Mark, are you being able to film the bird that has just landed on that Oakland holly?
I've got him. Maybe he's looking for some berries.
Oh, I think he just got one.
I believe you might be right. He's holding on in this breeze this morning. But that bright blue Georgia sky is sure highlighting him in those dark green leaves and those bright berries.
Wow, it's Thanksgiving morning and a butterfly has landed on the orange marigold at the stump of the eagle's nest. He's having to hang on tightly in the breeze this morning.
It looks like he's getting some nectar though.
From this angle, I can't tell which type butterfly it is. Can you see, is it a Gulf fritillary?
The sun's shining on it so it's hard to tell. It could be. But I guess this is his Thanksgiving meal, or at least a breakfast. Well, at least we're thankful we got to see him. Our garden has so full of plants that produce seed heads that most birds just feed on the seed heads. And we even have flocks of geese that do just that. Enjoying watching wildlife in our South Georgia garden is a pastime Belinda and I have engaged in for years. But it doesn't matter whether you live in the country in South Georgia or in the city or in the north or the south. It doesn't matter where you live. Wildlife's attracted to gardens. Enjoy viewing the wildlife as we enjoyed viewing these geese in our pollinator garden as they fed on what appears to be dried seed heads of our wildflowers. Yes, our Canadian visitors from the north enjoying the southern weather, enjoying the South Georgia sunshine in our South Georgia garden before they decided to rush on out and find some other place and someone else to give enjoyment to, another garden and another gardener. Thank you for joining us on a tour of our gardens, our wildlife gardens, from gardening on Skidaway Island on Georgia coast to gardening here inland in Statesboro.
And we hope that you get to be out in your garden some enjoying wildlife or going to some other destinations and spending time in nature and enjoying wildlife. Cheers from our South Georgia garden. And please let us know in the comments below about some awesome experiences you've had with wildlife in your garden.